Are we live?
We're live.
We're live.
Check, check.
Oh.
Hello, and welcome to the SpiderCast PodCast. This is where father and son, we sit down and BS and talk like we understand
The world, universe, and everything.
Yeah. When we really don't.
Yeah, we never do.
No, we never do. So, Saturday is come and gone. And we got to do the giveaway.
I probably need to check my messages from Dadu.
Yeah. His actually hilariously funny, his only subscriber actually is the one that won it. That was total. We used a website. We totally put in the names. We even put his name in 3 random places in the list, and it just so happened.
Yeah, he never messaged me back after the last time. So
yeah, so he got to win the $25 Amazon gift card, and we'll do another one of those, sometime in the future whenever the next big milestone happens to be.
yeah, whenever it happens.
Yeah, whenever that happens. Will you stop that?
I'm sorry. It's my.
Him and I had this conversation. He does it on every stream, and it just drives me insane. He starts cracking his knuckles.
I'm sorry. These mics aren't supposed to be able to pick it up.
You can suck Big Wang. That's what you
I
can
thought
do.
it was Lil Wang.
No, Little Wang went to prison. Actually, did you hear that?
What about Middle Wang?
Middle Wang?
Was he?
Quit talking about Jackie Chan's uncle. All right.
I thought it was Bruce Lee's.
We won't even go there. That poor family just can't make it through one freaking generation without somebody dying in that family. Now that's another story. Oops.
What did you do?
I just hit the table.
I thought you dropped something.
I've had the dropsies today, so I don't want to. That's not a good thing either. That's why that's why I'm not drinking the same thing you are. You know, I'm the one person who can break the unbreakable. They say Pyrex is completely unbreakable.
Well, apparently not.
Yeah, I found out it bounces, then it breaks, which is hilarious because it bounced like this far. It really helps if I could see.
You don't need to see everything that's
I
going
kind
on there.
of, especially when I go when I do this, So it
Well,
bounced.
you should know what's in frame.
It bounced about that high. Yeah, I can't tell what's in frame because of where you had that. So,
Fine. There.
you're covering my face.
You still have the second window.
Yeah, that's fine. So with those shenanigans. So this is the SpiderCast podcast. We're father and son, and we like to talk about games, tech, pretty much anything but politics and religion.
We try.
So today we're going to talk about the Ultraviolet DRM system shutting down. We're going to talk about Bioware. We're going to talk about Sony. We're going to talk about EA/Respawn. We're going to talk about GTX 1660 rumors. It's probably going to be a little bit of a short podcast, but we already
we blew most of it on Saturday.
We definitely blew most of it on Saturday. And for anybody who hasn't joined us before, we stream live on Tuesdays, roughly between 8 and 8:30. Today was really late.
Yeah,
he was doing his chores. But we're normally between 8 and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/SpiderARA713. We're also on most major podcasts if you listen to the audio version of this. So, speaking of which, well, for one, I better
make sure that
I better turn my stuff down before it goes and beep. But I want to do a quick check to see how we're doing on the podcast, on the audio version.
Yeah.
39 plays. So
Is that overall or?
Yep, overall 39, and we had 4 plays on the last one.
Okay. Wait, the last one as in?
The last Tuesday one. I haven't posted the Saturday one.
That's still on my machine, ain't it?
No, actually, I did put that on the server. I'm gonna run it as soon as I'm done with this. So I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna do both the. If you didn't catch us
the
live,
special, and then.
Yeah, if you didn't catch us live on Saturday, the podcast will be up at the same time this one goes live.
Wait, would that make this technically episode 9?
I'm still counting. I'm not counting specials as part of the.
Okay, so that's 7.5.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah,
we can count it.
Yeah, I'm not counting the. Actually, it's episode 8.
Wait. Am I looking at this right?
Did we? You know what? Check the stream. I may have named it wrong. I didn't realize yet. You're right. We are on 8. I could swear I put 7 because I think it still said. You know what? It did because it was still from the last one, and we used your computer on Saturday. But still, that shouldn't. Oh my God! Can you not type?
I can't see your keyboard.
You should be able to type without looking at my keyboard. You can't do that. The foot's broke.
Why is it broke?
Because it's broke.
Mine's not.
Well, I am planning on getting a new keyboard, along with a completely new computer here very, very soon.
Does that mean every single part of yours going to
You
hand
might
me down
want to
to
mute
me?
the audio on that.
You know what?
Right before you started talking?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is a highly professional podcast. If anybody's,
We try.
Yeah, we definitely try. Let's see. Did I put 7?
It's still on 12-hour giveaway.
So it didn't change. It didn't. Oh my gosh.
Did you change it in this?
Yeah, I changed it on that.
It doesn't work.
It's supposed to work. It even says it now has the ability. So bear with us as we
I should be able
go
to
through
do it
the
from my phone.
as we go through the technical difficulties of changing the name of the podcast on Twitch. You know, like I said, highly professional.
We do our best. Well, he tries his best, and then I have to fix it.
Yeah, well, I have to fix so much stuff for your mother. First thing, you know what? There's something I'm gonna add. We're gonna talk. Buying cell phones anymore is such a pain in the patootie. Okay, for one, the deals are just no longer there, even for phones that have been out for a while. And it's like I struggle. Like I ended up basically paying cash for your sister to have an iPhone 6s because I can't really afford.
This is 8, right?
Yes, this one is 8. Because I can't really afford to put her another new phone on the plan right now because I got to wait for her part of the payment contract to fill out. Because I bought hers, the one she had and the one that your mom had. I had both of those phones on a buy one get
Just
one.
put it like that.
Yeah, just 008. But the problem, the way AT&T does it, like they say, oh well, you know, for $49 and you trade in the phone, you can get you can upgrade, which sounds great in theory. However, the problem is because I did the buy one get one free. If I do that, I now instead of getting the remainder of the free one paid off, I have to pay the remainder of that bill. So I have to wait for it to run its course.
That almost does not make sense.
So I would have to pay like the $150 or something like that to have paid that. That's for the second line. If I upgraded the one, like I said, completely stupid. And the deal, like I said, the deals right now for cell phones just suck. I mean, nobody's doing anything really worth a damn. AT&T keeps wanting to throw you into we'll do the buy one get one free, but you got to activate a new line or a new service, and then you have to get DirecTV or one of their other freaking cable services. I was so mad when they did the whole buyout and started doing all that. It just it's just a pain. I hate it. It really is not the same.
Put a comment on this one. Say, oh, sorry, wrong title.
Yeah, I don't know why the title is not changing. It's always really slow. It was really slow yesterday. It was Saturday when you were doing the 12-hour stream.
Well, it started getting slow after we did the Anthem stuff.
Yeah, it was really really weird. But yeah, we're actually gonna talk a little bit about Anthem.
So wait, it's not our weekly Bethesda?
No, there's no Fallout news for the moment.
For the moment. That's the thing.
It's a week without.
You got to think about it. It's only this week.
Yeah, it's a week without Fallout.
Technically, we had 2 things of Fallout news this past week.
Very, very true. So we had a doubleheader. Okay, I finally switched over. And we've been just jabbering. And that's what we do. We just jabber. We talk about stupid stuff. It's kind of what we do. But if you feel you want to join us down the rabbit hole, please like, subscribe, follow.
Definitely talk to us.
Yeah, feel free to jump in the chat and yak at us if there's something, question, if there's something you'd like opinion on. Speaking of which, we can't see the chat.
That's what the chatbot does.
Yeah, but remember, we've had problems with this one. So you need to shrink it down.
Here, do you just want to see your face, not mine?
Shrink this down. Actually, technically, you can minimize it because we're really not looking at it.
Yeah, but that doesn't like to work half the time.
Well, let's see. Let's test. Test.
Looks like it went through. I can't tell if it did or not.
Yeah, I can't tell on the screen either. I guess we take it out of.
No. Here, look at chatbot.
We've had the worst time getting
Look
chat.
at chatbot.
Yeah, we've had the worst time.
What?
With the chat system, trying to get it to post properly with the stream. Yeah,
Okay, that went through as mine.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. If it's coming up there, we'll consider it working.
Ha!
It's so stupid.
I told you.
Yeah.
No. Back to that.
All right, back to the news. Ultraviolet shutting down. Now, Ultraviolet, for anybody who doesn't know, was one of these just god awful.
Sidious, it's not broken.
We are broken. It is not broken.
He's broken.
I am broken.
Make sure I'm actually pointing at you. You and you.
Because you got two brains and neither one think. But anyway, so yeah, Ultraviolet is shutting down, and it's basically a digital rights locker that was being used by several different publishers of movies, and you get those movies that come with the code, and you go to Ultraviolet, and you had to set up an account, you put the code in, they'd verify the code. In some cases, at one point, they had a thing where you had to actually put the disc in your computer drive, which was totally stupid. There's people who don't have computers, you know what I mean? They just want to be able to use it on their tablet or their Roku or whatever, or their Apple device, whatever they have. They don't have a computer. So it was kind of a really, really stupid. And it was just their way of trying to confirm that you own a copy of the movie and that you own the rights to use the code. And, I'll be honest, half the time I give other people like when I buy a new movie, if somebody's like, hey, can I have the code? Like, sure, take the code. I don't care. Because I don't I started to do that when I first started building our movie collection, and it just got to the point where it's like I had, I think, 4 different accounts dealing with the different movies, because some of them even on Ultraviolet, some of them had you could do in Flickster, but other ones you had to go to another service because they didn't have the rights to a certain movie, and it was just so stupid. And I got to the point where I was like, screw it. I will admit that is one thing that Apple does well, because it's all built into the system, and all you have to do is have an Apple device, and as long as you got their device, it's good. It plays on whatever device your account is tied to. I don't know why these companies make it so difficult. And this is definitely one of those situations where competition is not a good thing when it comes to this DRM type of stuff. But anyway, we're moving on. Moving on then.
So Sony is PlayStation 5 backwards compatible?
Yeah, apparently, and the article I was looking at was from techspot.com, and it's basically, there was a patent filing from Sony that basically allowed software that allowed a system to trick the software into emulating the hardware. So it basically, and this is the thing that emulation has been doing for a while, especially with PlayStation. Like if you wanted to do PS1, right? You had to have the PS1, and this was the thing that was hard. And this was the thing that Sony. There was one thing that Sony was going after as far as the emulators. You legally could not post the source code from the PlayStation because that was proprietary software.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you needed that one. You had to kind of hunt down in the dark web that one little piece of software to put into the emulation software, so that whenever you loaded a ROM of a game, it would use that software to think that that it was getting the right hardware, so it would load the game properly. So this is just another version of that allows them to mimic, to trick this software, the game or whatever, into thinking it's looking at the right hardware so that it will play. So this definitely opens up the possibility of emulating PS1, PS2, PS3 games on the next generation of PlayStations. And I'm a true believer. I think the PlayStation 5 is going to be a revolution and not an evolution. I think it's going to be it is going to be next gen. It's going to be better hardware. It's going to have better specs. It's going to give you the ability to better 4K or maybe better frame rate, but essentially the software is going to be exactly like it is on Xbox One and Xbox One X. It's going to go, oh, you bought this game. We see you're playing it on a superior version of our console. We're going to download the high def textures or whatever, and to give you that greater fidelity, or the it's not going to change the game, but it's going to give them ability to play at higher fidelity or frame rate or whatever.
Yeah, like I would actually love to see some of the older Ratchet and Clank games that I used to play. I think they backwards compatible.
Well, actually,
because there was the PS2 ones I always played, PlayStation 3.
I think they did a re-release though.
I thought they just came out with a new game and that was about it.
I will look that up. I think if they did, I will buy it. Just like because where I bought the Nathan Drake collection, because that was obviously going back a few consoles.
Well, we also need to look at Crash then.
I think it was that or Spyro. One of the two got.
The Crash, Spyro got released. I never heard anything about Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that would be another one I would like to
get the original trilogy.
Right.
3.
Maybe get it on one disc type of deal.
Well, yeah, that's what.
And that's the thing when you play, you play those classic games on, Nintendo has got this shit marked down, because Nintendo, they love to charge out the wazoo. Mm-hmm. And they do it for every console. They'll bring out bring back the same games, and on the next version of the console we'll go, well, you got to rebuy it because, it's Nintendo. They're worse than Skyrim.
Hey, we can actually say their name now, though.
Well, now we can play their games.
Yeah, say the name and play their games.
Well, to say the name wasn't the problem. The playing the games was the problem. Now you can play the games.
I saw that some people would say the names that they would get
the only thing you cannot say or play now, and I was having this discussion with Sidious, is
only Ratchet and Clank collection I could find was for PS3. Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was only PS3, but the word you can't say or talk too much about we'll refer to it as the big game, because you can't say it, but you know what I'm talking about, the one from Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody refers to it as the big game. We
accidentally said something about it on Saturday.
And I'm like, no, you can't do it. Because literally, if you talk too much, if you use that word too many times on YouTube, your video can get flagged for copyright. It's hilarious, but yeah, it for whatever reason, they've got that on lockdown.
Yeah. Sidious, I'm sorry. My mic had just went live moments before that.
Well, and the thing is, even if it was live, wasn't, or was live, honestly, he didn't even know. He didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
And I even remember, I think it was a Philip DeFranco was making the specific on one video a few years back, and I'm going to have to pull that video and show you. Was talking about how you can't use
S word.
The S word. It's pretty bad when you got to treat a sporting event like curse words. I mean, it's worse than curse words. That's the thing. I do occasionally curse on here, but yeah, I mean, it's bad. You're not even allowed to say it. It's just horrible. But anyway, Bioware fans upset about the visual difference between Anthem and E3.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. What are you saying?
Rhymes with Super Bowl. I like that. Man, I almost want to use that, but in a completely different reference.
I'm keeping my mouth shut because as far as dead people know, I'm innocent.
Yeah. So BioWare fans are upset about the difference between the visual difference between Anthem and E3, and I can attest. I've watched some videos that played similar scenes back to back. There is somewhat of a difference. Now, it's
a tiny difference from what I saw.
But here's the thing. We played on PC.
Yeah, you and me both did.
I have in the house. I have the highest gaming PC in the house. I was able to play with decent or decent frame rate at Ultra. Sidious, I think he only could do medium. And you were kind of playing somewhere between medium and low, and
because I was streaming.
Yeah, he was streaming, and
my computer could not handle it.
Yeah, his computer couldn't handle it. And I can tell you, for me, I think my system was running at 50 or 60% with the game running,
which is weird. I have not seen a game take up that much computing power.
Yeah, and I wasn't streaming or doing anything like that. So for you. I mean,
when I'm streaming, I usually in 50, 60.
Well, and to think about it, I'm running an i7, 4-core, 8-thread, and you only have a 4-core, and so if I'm running 50 or 60%, you got to been running. Yeah,
see, this is the poor computer.
But yeah, I mean, you're gonna, like I said, you had a real struggle to be able to stream the game. Even on the settings that you were running. And I felt the game looked fairly good, but I did notice specifically, the areas which I knew there was difference from what I remember from the original visuals. The people's face and some of the shading was different. But don't get me wrong, it's still beta, so it may not be reflective of the final game. So that's one of those things we're going to come back to after the game releases and see.
So what, the game releases on 22nd?
Yeah, game releases I think at the end somewhere towards the end of the month, and we'll see with further reviews if the visuals are still a problem. Like I said, it could very well just be a beta thing, but there was a little bit of a noticeable difference. I would say if they were, the old Crysis days. Oh my gosh, I remember. Thank God you've never lived that era.
I did play Crysis.
You have played.
I played the old Crysis games,
and that's what we're talking about. Because Crysis is one of those games. It was so poorly, it was so good, but so poorly optimized. Like he said, $4,000 PC, and you're not even running high graphics. It's one of those things I need to.
I actually really liked that game.
I did too, for up to a certain point, but
considering that was probably one of my first actual shooter games, I liked it.
My problem with the game was it was a lot of beauty and very little game. Like there was a lot of just roaming through the forest. You kind of felt like the Little Red Riding Hood, and you're the wolf going through hopping through the forest. And but yeah, it's just like I said, visually, Crysis was a beautiful game, and it was, but it was very, very difficult to run. Even with hardware from like 10 years later, it was still very difficult to run at maximum settings.
Let's try that out.
I'm actually curious. I'm curious if a late model machine would, especially when I do upgrade, because I am going to do an upgrade here very, very soon. It's actually going to be a mid-level upgrade, because I've decided I'm gonna cheap out a bit, and I'm going to get a AMD 1700X.
Oh, that hasn't been heard before.
Instead of getting a 2700, because I'm going to wait. I'm going to do a partial upgrade now so I can get into I'm going to get an X470 board. I'm going to get the DDR4 memory, and then I'm still getting 8 cores, 16 threads, but at least this way, when the next version of the AMD 3000 series chips, I'm going to look at getting one of those not long after release. So it's going to be a 2-part upgrade. So you're going to get the i7 in your machine, so you're going to get an upgrade. Sidious is going to get an upgrade because
he's going to get stuff from my machine.
I think I derailed the podcast. Yeah, whatever. That's what we're here for. We're here to just talk.
Yeah, we just screw around.
Topics are just a reason to talk.
Truthfully.
But yeah, you're going to get my i7. He's going to get your i5. But it's only a minor upgrade for him because he's only basically he's 1.5 steps below you. So he's got a non-K i5. So he's going to get a little bit, and we'll be able to do some overclocking on his machine. I don't know how much we're going to be able to overclock on this with yours because this thing runs so freaking hot. I'm going to have to put the water cooling on yours once I swap it. Now, here's the thing, though. After I do upgrade number 2 to this year, then I'm going to have a chip sitting around. So that chip, I'm going to end up getting. I think you might want to consider asking for money for your birthday. If I'm taking a hint, because all I'd have to do is get another board and some more memory to upgrade yours a second time, and then Sidious will get the i7 at that point.
And maybe I could actually play Anthem and stream at the same time.
Well, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, that 1700X, like I said, it's 8 core, 16 thread. I think it's 8 core. Is it 8 core? I'm pretty damn sure it's 8 core.
You've been saying 8 core since Saturday.
I'm like not.
So
pull it up. I'm pretty sure it's.
What is it?
My brain is kind of fried.
What is it called?
Tired. Just put 1700X. It'll come up. It's the only thing that'll come up for that. I gotta quit hitting this damn microphone.
Yes, please. You're not the only one who hears it. This one?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta quit yelling too.
Please.
That's just horrible. Sorry for that. Yeah, 8 core, 16 thread. But yeah, I ultimately want to get a 3000 series chip when it comes out, and I'll be prime set for that.
Kind of fried. I think you mean always fried.
Yeah.
I was thinking it.
Yeah. I also want to get a new case, and I haven't talked that part with your mother, and I'm gonna just bought that and so she didn't hear about it. Because
you're not going to keep the box?
No, I'm not going to keep the box. I have a Cooler Master half case, one of the half cases. It's the big one. So this is big land box, and it's literally a big square. And it served me well for the most part, and I'm ready to move back to a tower. And I've been hunting around
that won't take up as much space.
Yes and no, but I could tower.
It'll take up vertical, not horizontal.
Right, and I could shove a tower to the corner and spread some stuff out, so I got more room. And
bye to the barbecue.
You know what? I've thought about calling it that a few times because it does look kind of in that frame.
Just add a few more squares to the side of it.
Yeah, I mean it kind of does remind me of the barbecue. But yeah,
it's the Matrix. Allspark.
Allspark. Yeah.
Okay, I did not mean. You knew I tried to say Allspark. That's what
trying
that was
to figure out what
you
were talking about.
And green RBGs inside. RGBs. Okay, that would actually look awesome.
I can tell you right now, this system will be RGB to death by the time I'm done.
More than mine.
I'm going to get RGB RAM.
That's possible.
Yeah, the motherboard's going to be RGB. The RAM's going to be RGB. The cooler's going to be the Matrix leadership.
That would be an awesome case.
So yeah,
my mistake works.
It's going to have LED strips. It's going to be like.
So you're going to be the main power draw of the house. Okay.
I'm already the main power draw of the house. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm up there.
But yeah. But I've got a case picked out. The only problem is this case is 300.
Type it in.
Dark Base Pro 900 revision 2.
Did you say Dark Base?
Dark Base
Pro
revision 2. Sorry, 900 revision 2.
That's that right? Yes. Okay. That?
Yes. And it comes black, or you can get it with
an orange stripe on the outside.
So it's a fairly large case. Go ahead and show that on the stream. It's the Dark Base Pro 900 revision 2. Live scene with browser.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
I gotta get the shortcut keys made.
Is that not working right now? Okay.
There you go. Now transition.
I need to. Wrong one. That part.
That goes to their website, so you can just look at the whole website. That's fine. Yeah. Transition.
And transition.
Transition. I gotta create some transitions for that. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking at the Be Quiet Dark Base Pro 900 revision 2. I'm thinking about getting the black one, not the orange one. I may, however, get the silver one. I'm kind of also possibly leaning that. I'm not officially.
Okay, so black one's just straight black.
Right, and all it is the little trim around it. That's
okay.
It.
Yeah, but do you want a little pop to go with your? Are you gonna need an RGB fire extinguisher too?
Anyway, it is going to be pretty much.
It's a possibility.
It is going to be an AMD build. So, but yeah, if you look at the price of that case, it's $279 plus shipping.
Okay,
but
what has crawled into your little head? Because that's more money than you've talked in a while.
Well, here's my thing, and I went through what feels like 1,000 cases.
Let's see here.
Hold on. I needed a case that was an ATX that had at least 2 5.25 drive slots. The 5.25 drive slots are the hardest thing to find.
What is that? The
if you look, so here. So
okay, for like DVD.
Because I don't want to give up my Blu-ray player, and I definitely don't. At the very minimum, I needed at least a minimum of one
for your memory card.
For my memory card reader, because I wanted that built into the case. But I really wanted to try to keep my Blu-ray drive, because I do rip some Blu-ray stuff for traveling and things like that. So, and occasionally I'll even play a movie back here. So, yeah, The thing is that this was the only case that fit every category. I wanted an enclosed power supply shroud, and let me show you. There you go. There you can see at the bottom. So the power supply is covered. It's got the 5.25. Now, cool thing is it's got a Qi charger on the top. You see the little square sort of that's on the top.
Is that for your phone?
Yeah, it's got wireless charging on the case. So
okay, now that's actually cool.
So you can just literally put my phone on the top of the case and it charges.
That is actually really cool.
That is, yeah. I could honestly, if it was one of those deals, like if it would save me $50, I would do without it. The original version does not have that, but also this has USB 3.0 and I think USB 3C charge. Which is different from the original one. I think it only had USB standard 3, not 3.1 or whatever the newer.
So wait, how would you?
There's
is
a picture.
It right here?
Yep, you can see the charge. See the 3.1, 3.0. So it's got a plethora of high-speed USB connections on the front.
Now what about the back?
Well, the back's based on the case or based on the motherboard. So
of course, like always.
So that's all motherboard based, but yeah.
Kind of like how mine shows it has 4 or 5 different HDMIs, yet there's only one that works.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I am looking at doing that type of upgrade. It's not going to be cheap. I think the motherboard, processor, memory combo is going to be about $500, and then like I said, this is going to be another almost $300 on top of that.
If you're really talking about Disney World,
I'm gonna spread the case in the processor upgrade app. Yes, I realize that I'm going to be eating a little bit into the Disney money, but this is
not going to be easy to hide from the wife either. Yeah, it won't, because it's going to be glowing.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, like, remember last year because the way I normally do it, I normally spend $300 to $500 a year upgrading my computer. Something. Last year I did not.
True, you didn't.
I think I spent $150, which was
you spent more on upgrading me than you did you.
Right. I spent money on you, but I didn't spend money on me. So this year I'm going to spend money on me. But yeah, I like I said, I needed. There were certain things I wanted, and the other thing too is underneath the powers. The other thing I wanted was the big drop. I did need a couple of 3.5-inch drives.
Is that what these are?
Well, those you can do 3.5-inch drives at those areas, but I'm not. I'm just going to use the two that are in the power supply shroud area. So they're going to be hidden. They're going to be hidden
right here.
Nope.
Here.
They're actually going to be below that in this.
In this.
Right.
Okay.
So the power supply is the first little quarter of it. Then there'll be some space, and then there's space.
I thought this is the power supply.
Not in this configuration. This case has the option you can flip it. So instead of open.
So then, what would that turn into?
That's the 5 1/4. The power supply's down here on this one.
I've always seen that power supplies are up.
No, they're almost always at the bottom. Not always.
Newer styles are on the bottom.
No, most of them are on the bottom. Like 99.9% are on the bottom.
Well, granted, the ones I've seen like that are at my school, so
yeah, it might be a little different, but those are like desktop type of deals. But anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing here in the near future, and that'll give me a ton of ability to do.
Oh, you're also going to have it
video editing
up off the desk.
Yeah,
too.
It's got feet and all that stuff. So this is the.
Are you trying to copy me?
No, this case is totally different from what you have. It does.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It does have a clear side panel.
I can see certain styles that are.
Well, every case is gonna, especially when you're talking about a certain, shape. It's gonna always have a certain style to it. But it gives me the option if I want to water cool, I can water cool the front, or I can put it. I believe there's a spot at in the top. Like I said, I want it because it's got 2 5 1/4s. It'll fit a full ATX motherboard. It's got a power supply shroud covering the power supply and all the cables and stuff like that, so I can make it a nice clean build. And I'm not happy about the price. I'm really not, but that's what I'm gonna have to do.
You say you're not happy, but your face says something else.
I will be happy with the build. I won't be happy with what I spend on it.
You're never happy with what you spend.
I'm a cheap ass. I mean,
you are.
When it comes to a lot of things, I'm a cheap ass. All right, let's move on to another topic here.
Yeah, let's stop talking about money here.
EA Respawn releases Apex Legends, which is basically a almost Titanfall
battle royale.
I
mean, you said you played a little bit.
I played one. I got to squeeze in one round beforehand, and it does have a lot of play of Titanfall. And a lot of people are saying, and I haven't seen the 100% confirmation of this. They say it's in the Titanfall universe, but you're not fighting in Titans. And a lot of them.
So you're the grunts on the ground, not.
It's more like it's almost like if you were doing like a TV show, a battle arena TV show, so like the Iron Man contest, that's what it kind of feels like.
Okay.
But different characters have different special abilities and things like that. It's kind of like, choosing your,
I heard that there were hero roles with this.
There are what?
That there are like roles that you can play? Yes,
certain characters heal, certain characters are tanks.
Is it a team-based game?
It is a team-based game. Basically, either you play with or get teamed up with 2 other people.
Okay.
So you're always teamed into 3. One of the cool things is that if a player, like a team leader, if you will, can, like when you're jumping out, just like in like Fortnite,
you can tandem jump.
You can tandem jump, and you can pick where to land.
Oh, like you don't control it, you just pick and it goes?
Yep, you can just let somebody pick, and you can just fly right there.
Okay.
Now, at any given point, you can disconnect and go different places, but if you just want to, land with your team, you can do that. That's kind of cool. It does have a real quick tutorial, and I will say that tutorial does
Titanfall universe Overwatch setup battle royale gameplay.
I will say that's not too far off in a lot of ways.
Okay.
I will say there's one really cool thing, and that's the res. The way the game reses you. So what happens is
the revive.
The revive. There's a couple of variations of it. You can get knocked down.
Okay.
And you can get healed up. So typical walk up, heal, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. If you die, they can pull your data chip. It looks like a box, but they pull basically like a data chip. You go to a respawn point, and it respawns you back into the game. And there are respawn points all over the map.
Okay. I bet you people are going to be fighting to control those.
There were some people that were camping the one that we were at where that needed to happen. And then and until basically you can keep doing that until the team is dead, and then you're done. Which it kind of gives you that. Anyway, sorry, Sidious is typing funny shit in the chat. But yeah, it's definitely. I thought it was kind of cool, but the controls are way overdone. I will tell you, if you're a keyboard and mouse player, you're gonna want to remap several of the controls because they make no sense.
So what I'm hearing is controller all the way.
It is definitely. I almost guarantee this was designed for a controller. It can be played keyboard and mouse, but why? And here's what I'll use as an example. Just like in Titanfall, your player can run and then kind of do like a big baseball slide,
then jump and
right. Well, the problem is that you're holding W to go forward, you're holding Shift to run, and then it wants you to somehow hit that same control under the Shift at the same time to slide.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. You're
already like this. You have to like.
It's not that it's impossible, but it's a horrible motion to make.
Because most of your hands are already like this, and your pinky's
going to be you kind of have to lean your hand over.
Yeah, it's like your pinky's already going to be hitting the shift, so I would have to take my hand off my mouse just to hit that real quick, unless I have it like that. But that's a weird setup.
I converted the control to the alt, so I could do this, which is almost.
I'm sorry, my hand cramped too much.
Which is almost. I can't really show it on stream. I'm sorry, but essentially it's almost like a piano feel.
Behind the scenes,
where you do the, kind of the standard note, and then God, it's been so long since I've done piano. I can't remember the exact term, but it's the difference between a white key and a black key. So it's like your shift is your white key, your W is your black key, and your alt is your white key. And you kind of have to do that motion. If you've seen somebody play piano, you understand what that kind of looks like. And then like the talk function is the T, which is way over here for push to talk. So I remap.
Post a picture of it on Insta or Twitter.
I might have to. But I turn around and remap that to one of my mouse extra keys, so I could just side press and do the talk to.
Oh yeah, that would be a whole lot easier.
A whole lot easier than trying to get, because you're trying to get off the W to hit the T just to talk, but still be running. It just makes no sense. So yeah, I guarantee at least everything seems to be remappable to whatever you want. But I guarantee if you're a keyboard and mouse player and you want to play this game, expect to customize the button layout because it's totally wrong for a person to actually perform.
So the person that they had test play this had 10 fingers on each hand.
It feels like it. And here's the funny thing, and this was, I was watching Boogie 2988 video talking about this game, and he's like, why does EA always force Respawn to release in the, like, right at the same time as other major game release, similar game releases, and they say that because EA had Respawn, because I believe they did the second Titanfall.
Yeah.
They launched it between Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Oh.
Like, literally in between it.
That is a horrible rivalry to get between.
And then wondered why Titanfall 2 kind of bombed. I think Titanfall 2 was a great game.
Yeah, I love the story.
The story was absolutely
something they didn't have
incredible.
Much of in the first game, but I love the story between
they didn't
Titan player and sadly, Yura killed the robot. That was part of it.
Yeah, it was almost tear jerk for me. I mean, it was that good. I wanted more. I literally was like, oh my God, this is great. And I could have, if they could have created another 3 to 10 hour session, it still wouldn't have been enough. That's how good the writing was for the Titanfall 2 single player or the campaign. As far as the multiplayer, was just everything we got from Titanfall 1, which was good, very good. It added obviously
a few new things.
Right, there was obviously new things added, new Titans added, new weapons added. But it was a little bit more of the same in a certain respect.
But that's what we wanted. We wanted what Titanfall was.
The thing is, like, I can't, with a lot of multiplayer, I don't have the kind of time to invest in those games.
True.
But the nice thing about Titanfall and this, and I have the same thing with the first one, it's a game where I'm like, man, I feel like I want to play Titanfall. I jump in, I start playing, I get my ass whooped most of the time.
It's funny to watch.
But it's fun, and I enjoy it, and I play 3 to 5 rounds, and I'm done. Like, I could put it away and not feel guilty, not feel bad, and pick it up whenever the mood just happens to jump at me. And I like I said, I absolutely love it. There was a tweet from somebody from Respawn, and I apologize. It was kind of a last minute thing, and I didn't put it in the doc. I should have. That said there was going to be something Titanfall new coming later this year. Now,
you think that they're going to talk about that at E3? That's a very big possibility.
I really don't think we're going to get another Titanfall yet, if we ever do at all.
But they said that something could be coming this year.
What I have a feeling is we might see Titans might be an add-on for this. To me, that seems like that would be a progressive thing, is to. Because honestly,
they could slowly roll out story for this, kind of like an episode.
You know what? I could care. There's not enough there for me to worry about the story. Because it's a free to play game. That's the thing. It's a free to play, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with being free to play. I'm fine with already what I've seen. As far as a lot of the cosmetic BS stuff that people I'm sure are going to spend a ton of money on. But it's a free-to-play game. I'm fine with that.
Well, it's EA.
But what I hate is that, and EA and Activision both are notorious for this, is they want you to pay for a $60 or $70 game, and then turn around and hit you for $20 for a skin. That makes no sense. And certainly it's a thing we're going to have to keep an eye on and definitely let these publishers know when microtransactions are appropriate and when they are not appropriate. And unfortunately, these companies have not quite gotten that, but this is definitely in the right direction. Like I said, it was kind of fun. I definitely need to learn the control scheme. That was probably the biggest thing. There was so much going on.
Yeah, it usually takes about 1 or 2, maybe 3 games to learn the control scheme.
It's definitely going to take a learning curve to learn the control schemes and all the little weapons and mods.
Now, see, this time around, they didn't release this in the middle of a big game rivalry, they're going against themselves, aren't they?
Well, because they own Call of Duty and Battlefield, so they were essentially going after themselves. That's what
EA does not.
I think they own the parent company.
Activision.
They don't own Activision, but I'm saying EA owns the Call of Duty franchise.
No, they don't. Infinity Ward, who started it, and then Treyarch and Sledgehammer.
EA is still the publisher, I think, of Call of Duty series.
I don't think so.
Double check that. Sidious, be our fact checker there.
Yeah, Sidious.
But I'm like pretty sure EA owns
saying certain words,
or it has a subsidiary of that. Sidious is probably no longer even paying attention to chat.
No, he's probably saying certain words now. If he is, though,
it's like, oh my god, you're making me type in EA because now it's going to come up in all this EA this and EA that. It was so horrible the thing is that's the bad thing. He knows what I'm about to buy before I buy it because we're all in the same house, so it kind of picks up on. So if I start searching for a microphone, it starts coming up microphone searches in all his ads.
The publishers of Call of Duty are Activision, Tencent, Nokia, Activision, Blizzard, Square Enix, Konami. That's all of them.
Maybe they own Battlefront. I know they own Battlefield. I know they own Battlefield because that's what Battlefront's is based off of. But anyway, so but the thing is that EA here lately when anything
EA.
Okay, anytime EA has something with Respawn, they always seem to throw it in the worst possible time. And this is another example. You got Anthem that's right around the corner.
In like 2 weeks, you got Anthem coming out, and you're just now. Maybe they're hoping that people are so hyped about Anthem when that comes out. Some of the players who just don't really care about Anthem, who are playing Apex Legends, will still be playing that. But some other people are going to go to Anthem, play that for a bit, come back, play, and just switch off.
Yeah, I mean,
that could be what they're thinking.
Scoot up just a little bit on the microphone. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like I think that this would have been a good like release E3. That this would have been a great E3 announcement. Just come up and say, "Hey, guess what? Today we're releasing free to play. It's based on the Titanfall universe. It's called Apex Legends. Here's the video of it, and you can download and play today." To me, that would have been because nothing.
That would have been a good time.
Nothing releases during E3 directly,
and if it does, it's like a mobile game.
Yeah, something stupid. I think this would have been. I think they really kind of maybe missed the mark and should have planned the release date. Like I said, I'm gonna try it. It's free. It's not gonna hurt me anything. But I'll maybe after we both get a chance to sit down and play it, we'll talk about it in a future stream. So moving on, GTX 1660 rumors, and we've been hearing rumors about this for quite a while. NVIDIA has admitted in their quarterly earnings reports that the RTX cards are not selling, which does not surprise me one bit. A lot of people were not happy when NVIDIA released a card that basically had a gimmick item on it, which, don't get me wrong, ray tracing is a very cool technology, and if it was ever properly implemented, especially having the hardware acceleration, would be very cool. I've seen a lot of really awesome demos, but that's all it's been. It's just demos. There's no games that really support it, and even then, you get a 2080, and it struggles to play some of those demos at 60 FPS. And at least parts of it. So it literally, can cut. I think it was like 40. I think it averages like 40% cut in frame rate over when you have it turned on versus off. I mean, it pulls that much. And so, but if a lot of people are just they're not hyped, they weren't hyped for these cards. the ray tracing was not enticing to them because obviously there's no product really for it. And like I said, just the overall price. People were just not willing to spend the extra money.
Why have it on something when there is nothing out there for it?
Right. I mean,
it's like, okay, if a lot of games start supporting it and started pushing it, that's when I would put something like that out. The thing is,
they were future-proofing, and I think they should have.
It's better to play it safe than it is risk.
Well, it is to a certain. I'll give them credit for taking the risk on it, but I think they did. That risk shouldn't have cost the consumer.
Yeah,
like this first gen, if they had left it at 10 series prices, and then let's say whatever the next year's cars, where 3000 or whatever you want to call it series is, then up the price and say, hey, it's finally come out, or we finally got this where we're pushing 60 FPS on high settings and da 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 da, and we've got 10 games that are out for it, and we got 10 more that are coming, blah 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 blah, and then it would have justified the increase in price. But a lot of people they're waiting on the non RTX cards, and they think that the 6 series is going to be it. And
they're hoping at least.
Well, and the 6 series cards are always their top sellers. It may not be their highest profitability cards, but they always sell more cards in the 6 series models than they do any other card, because that is the average. The 6 series is the average consumer. It's the cards I typically buy. I have bought a 70 series before, but normally I buy a 60 series card. Whether it's a 560, a 660, a 760, whatever. That's the cards that everybody, the average person, can afford. It's the sub $300 card. Like I said, that's the average 1080p gamer. That's all they care about. And I think they missed their mark on the 70s and 80 series cards, and I really think that coming out with a non RTX card, because the 60 series is not going to have enough power to run RTX at all at 60 frames a second. Like I said, the 70 and 80 series is struggling to maintain the demos at 60 FPS. Definitely the 60 series is never going to be able to do it. So I think it's a good idea to offer those cards. Obviously, I'm hoping a 250. A 250 price range is probably where I think they should be. Like, with the add-in board performance models maybe going $299. I think that's where they need to be successful, to sell, and to properly make money. I think that's where they need to be. But anyway, the reason we're talking about this is because the EEC, which is kind of it's a European Economic Commission, some regulatory body that different countries in the European area. Apparently, there are a bunch of product numbers that match up to a 1660 series card. Started matching up with Gigabyte and MSI cards that we know that how their naming culture is.
Mm-hmm.
So I matched several of those, and so we're gonna keep a lookout. I will be possibly interested in a 1660 card. I have no interest in having an RTX feature. If they ever did like a TI card that was just a 2070 without the without the ray tracing, at the right price, I might consider buying it. But I'm not paying the premium that they've put on those cards. But you're not much into the graphics.
No, I'm not that big into it.
Yeah, he's not big into the graphics card things. He's kind of just whatever works and whatever I throw in his machine. Which this last round, you managed to get a pretty good card, because I
came out with a steal.
Yeah, basically what happened was and this was before
You had a double card set up, didn't you?
Yep, I had dual RX 480s, 8 gigabytes. I had a pair matching in my system, and I had set everything up to do a dual card. The problem was that benchmarks looked absolutely phenomenal. I was getting great benchmarks. But when it came to the games, almost nothing utilized that second card. It was literally just for numbers is all it ended up being. So I ultimately went, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna put the second card in his machine.
I needed the upgrade.
Yeah, I mean it helped him quite a bit, and this was even before you were doing streaming stuff. But anyway, how I got these cards was when this was right before the mining card thing exploded. So it was open box at Micro Center for just a hair over $200, and then a second one popped up, and I'm like, should I really spend the money? And I kind of swindled it, and I bought it. So that's how you ended up with the second card. But I'll be honest, I'm fairly happy with the RX 480. Like I said, it does nothing in the terms of a dual video card because, like I said, very few games actually support it. My biggest disappointment was the fact that I cannot seem to get Adobe Premiere to use any of it for either previews or for rendering. So it's one of those things I just never had any luck getting it to work right. But I'll be honest, I've always kind of been an NVIDIA fanboy. This was the first AMD cards that I've ever bought. I have always bought NVIDIA. I mean, just because their drivers are always much better. There's always it's always a higher quality. That's why I normally hadn't bought. That's why I never bought an AMD processor since back in the AMD K62 era, because it just didn't make sense as far as what I wanted and what I had to spend, and I just bought NVIDIA. I bought Intel for the CPUs, and I'm now in a position where it's like, man, these Intel ones don't really make sense to me. I'm going to buy an AMD, and for the first time, pretty much my entire life, I'm going to have an all AMD system coming up this year. Now, however, the graphics card may change. I may go back to NVIDIA if the right price comes around on those possible 1660s, but yeah, I'm just, like I said, that's how I've always been.
Would that mean I get a double card, or would that go to Sidious?
Sidious will probably end up with that card. Like I said, it'd be different if you can make those work and they did anything other than benchmarks. I might put those in just for the benchmarks to say, hey, look at the benchmarks. But like I said, when it comes to the practicality, like I literally started looking for games that might utilize it, and a lot of them said they did, and then like wouldn't even use 20%. Like that's how little they got utilized, and that'd be for just little jumps for 20%. So I was like, screw it. But anyway, that's the podcast this week. Thank you for anybody who might be watching live. We do go live on Tuesdays on twitch.tv/SpiderARA713. And
we are on many different podcast applications all over the world, such as Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public.
Just to name a few, and there's a couple others that we're also on that are a little less named. But feel free to like, subscribe, and join us in the chat sometime, and we'll feel free to ask us questions. You can find me at MyDoneLife, both Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me on Instagram for the channel at Spider's Nest 713, and on Twitter it's at SpiderARA 713.
So feel free to drop us a line, and like I said, if you got any questions, we'll be happy to answer that. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll catch you later.
Yep. Peace, y'all.